Hello, 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 and welcome. This is the Texas Live. I am Shane Moore.
And I'm Sue Ellen.
And we will be here for the next 2 hours talking about something that many people have never heard of. Those of you that have are going to really enjoy this. Morphic resonance. Do what now?
I said I know I need a lesson.
Well, we're going to get one tonight. Morphic resonance. And what morphic resonance is it is talking about, it's about the brain being electrical, the heart being magnetic, and believe it or not, actually having an infrared type of energy that can be measured. And these two together, the brain and the heart, they form the electromagnetic frequency domain. Now, the electromagnetic field theory is the basis of our radio, television, and digital networks. Digital networks. Okay. Now,
ones and zeros.
Well, that would be the binary, but digital. We were forced. What was it? 10 years ago, to forego the analog. You had to be digital. Well, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
But I remember them saying that ghosts and spirits were going to come out.
Yeah. Well, what the deal is you, your body, your DNA cannot resonate with an analog system, but it can resonate with, guess what? Digital system. And
it's like 3D thing, but on a digital level. So is it controlling you, or are you controlling it?
This is like big time. This is like, right. This is like big time. And the proof is that in 2017, I believe it was in Washington. I'll find the article. There were students, doctors, that actually added a virus, a computer virus, to it was a fruit fly's DNA or something. Might have even been a human's DNA. I'm not sure, but regardless, it accepted it. It accepted the computerized, the digital virus as though it was biological and began replicating it. So how does that happen? Well, it resonated with it. Now, resonance occurs when two systems vibrate at the same frequency. When they become entangled, the entanglement theory, quantum entanglement, where you have two particles, two photons that are split. Well, you have one that's split, and no matter how far the other travels, when one takes a turn, the other takes a turn, even though it might be light years away. And
I thought it was what happens to one happens to the other.
Right. That's what I'm saying. When one takes a turn, the other takes the same turn. It's like they are one. It's like they're still one, although they're separated.
Like Elliot and P.T., huh?
Yeah. Phone home. But anyway, I hope that everyone's doing great and doing well. We have many new listeners in Pompeo Beach, Florida, I believe. Let me see. We have listeners in Nigeria, Guam, Guatemala.
Wow.
We have listeners
Woo-hoo.
in Sri Lanka.
Uh-huh.
Have listeners
Hello.
in Somerville, Massachusetts.
What up?
Yeah, we are so happy to have you, and please continue listening. And I just lost all my list that I had, but that's fixed. Very, very simple. No problem there, because the listeners, hey, we appreciate you. Here it is. I hope I say this right. Placenta, California, Somerville, Massachusetts, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Southgate, California,
Okay.
Long Beach, California,
Hey.
Rutherford, New Jersey, Watertown, Massachusetts, Rockville, Maryland, Nigeria, Laos, Guam, and Sri Lanka. Thank you so much for listening, and we sincerely hope that you continue to. And feel free to send us an email, contact us, and let us know what topics you want to hear. And trust me, there are no topics that are too weird or too out there. We like those kind of topics.
And you can't offend us, right?
That's right. You cannot offend us. Matter of fact, if you don't at least try to offend us, then that offends us. I'm kidding. No, we like those, shows that people say, "Wow, that is so crazy." But when we have the show and people see that it's sometimes feasible, then if it's feasible, then it is possible. And if it is possible, then it could have happened. And so there's been a lot of people that have written, that have sent me emails. We don't write anymore. And they've said, "Hey, I started out listening and I thought, I'm going to listen to this kook." And I'm like, well, I've been called worse. And they said, and I found myself saying, "Hey, that could happen, so thank you." And that's what I live for. I mean, it really, makes my day, and I know it makes Sue Ellen's day. Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we're talking about a lot of interesting stuff, and this brings up many interesting topics where you can even get into lores of, vampires and, werewolves and ETs to Anunnaki to ancient aliens, on and on and on. The theories go. So, and that we talk about, and this, I think, is just an incredible tie-in, okay, to like everything that you've said,
Right.
And I don't even know in which way, if it's the way I was thinking or the other way I was thinking.
There are many times when I will start a show, and it goes completely 180, and I'm thinking, oh man, we really got off topic. But then later when I look at it, it's like one of our highest rated shows, or those are some of our highest rated shows when we don't follow protocol, when we don't follow a strict guideline. And that's just it. Is let us know through the live chat, which I encourage everyone to take part of, and let us know what you're thinking.
And there's that where's that live chat to be found? How can people find it?
Well, they log on to the chat, and it's like here we've got someone on Twitter that is retweeting. Thank you, Tina. She's a wonderful listener. Yes, thank you so much for retweeting that. You are a sweetheart. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. Sorry. And when we come back, we will get into the very, very interesting, very fascinating, and exciting knowledge of morphic resonance and much, much more. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I've seen those faces, I've heard all the lies, but you ain't gazing on someone in denial. 'Cause you want dollar bills right now, but you gotta work real hard. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down. And I said, see it in your mind, trust that, have what it takes inside, 'cause you can make it too. If not says who, yeah, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it. You had great patience, but something knocked you out. You felt your limitations and filled your mind with doubt. You wanna stay chill right now and don't let your eyes off the prize. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down. And I said, see it in your mind, trust that, have what it takes inside, 'cause you can make it too. If not says who, yeah, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it. And I said, see it in your mind, trust that, have what it takes inside, 'cause you can make it too. If not says who, yeah, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it. If not says who, yeah, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it.
And we are back. Hey, Jacob. Hey, Elaine. Glad you made it. Sorry we got started so late, but man, I have nothing's been wrong for a change. Everything's been right, and everything's been going great, and every great thing was happening, and so I got everything set up you would not believe. I had a smart TV that I forgot all about, 32-inch flat screen, And I thought, I'm going to hook that up as a monitor and have a huge monitor for the show. And so I did just that. And also added plugins, and thank you to everyone who helped me and gave me advice, including Elaine's son. Guy's a genius, a computer genius, and he probably thought he was dealing with, someone that takes like remedial lunch as far as computers. But I thank you, and those of you that gave me information online, and also to our friend Robert, who Mona's friend Robert, now my friend Robert, great guy. He came by and checked everything out, and hey, we are ready to rock and roll. So
that was Robert Redford, right?
Yeah, Robert Redford is like 85, but he looks, I don't know. I mean, I think he still looks pretty good for his age. I mean, the guy, give credit where credit's due. I mean, that guy was a handsome dude, back in his day, and he still is. I mean, I guess.
Elaine, no way.
What he's, yep. Elaine is Mona's best friend. They are sisters. So Robert is a great guy. I can't say enough about him. He is just wonderful.
So our real sisters?
Well, no, but spiritual sisters.
Best friends.
Best
friends.
Forever. Best friends forever. Yeah. And Elaine and I, we are married. And Elaine is laughing. Yeah. Mona's laughing. Elaine, I was taking her to her physical therapy. Not bragging on myself. I'm just telling you the story, okay? And she said, I'm going to be late. So she called them, and they said, well, if you're not here by 10:15, then you're going to have to come back. And she said,
wow.
She said, we're never going to make it. And I said, hold my beer. And I was driving her car, which is like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was Memphis Reigns and gone in 60 seconds, but it was more like 30 seconds with me. And I am barreling down the highway, and all of a sudden, boom, the lights come on, and I'm like, oh my God, this is not good, because I do not have a good history with policemen pulling me over. And I was like, okay, this is going to be bad. And she said, she was all calm and everything, and she said, which I was too. I mean, I thought, well, the worst that could happen is I get tased and fried, and but she said, just tell them that you're taking me to my doctor because of my Achilles tendon. She tore her Achilles tendon, and she says for help or whatever. So the guy comes up and he says, yes, can you tell me why you were driving 93 miles an hour, I think it was? And I said, well, I said, she's in a lot of pain. I said, I was trying to get her to the doctor. I said, I apologize. And he says, sir, he says, by all means, get your wife to her doctor. He said, I'm not even going to write you a warning. He said, and I said, thank you. And Elaine reached over and she was like holding my hand and stuff, and I'm like, no, she didn't. I'm kidding. She's going to kill me. But I'm like, I'm thinking, I don't even have a ring, and this guy's like buying this, and God, I hope he's not listening, because it was really bad. The policeman. And he says, by all means, get your wife to her doctor. And Elaine's over there. I think when I had my head turned, she was playing dead, like she was already dead, It's like the pain was so bad, or she was like rolling her eyes back in her head or whatever. I hope. Because whatever she did worked. The guy bought it. And I'm not saying every policeman out there. I can just see myself going out tomorrow, to the store, and I get pulled over like 5 times and written 20 tickets. So, no. I have respect for law enforcement. It's just, you guys don't have to be so. You guys don't have to be so abrasive, so.
It was I was a criminal justice major, and I tried to be in the military, to be a police officer in the Army, but I was an inch too short, and they changed that a year later.
Well, that's just it, is I seem to always get the short cops. And they got little man syndrome. And they have a badge. That's a nightmare. That is a recipe for a nightmare scenario. And I'm not saying anything, you guys know what you're doing, but does it really take 3 squads? Does it take 3 patrol cars to pull me over? I mean, I'm one little guy, so, why? Could you tell me that? I mean, maybe you see something I don't know. But love you too, Elaine. My sister from another mister. Anyway, talking about morphic resonance, and I believe that we're losing Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen, you there? Well, anyway, we will reconnect with Sue Ellen. Okay. Yes. Sue Ellen, are you there?
Yeah, I wasn't. I got dropped off. I just called you back.
Okay, good. All right. But, yeah, so if there's any children out there listening, it's not cool to lie. But...
Wait, if there's any children, what?
I said if there's any children listening, it's not cool to lie, so don't lie. But if your mom or dad's in trouble, they get pulled over by the cops and everything, and they need your help, then, I'm just going to say that real fast.
Once they learn about Da Vinci and...
Yeah.
Once they understand anything, Mother Goose.
Yeah, it's like
Art of War.
Me. I mean, I was I was talking to the doctors when I was like 5. I would go in there for like a busted head or something.
Oh, Miss Ryan. Wait, too. This like freaking like 10 years. I don't even know. 9 years ago, 8 years ago. Wow.
One thing too that I want to let people know is I was looking at the messenger, and I have sent people messages. I've sent people notifications since the 20th, but I looked and nobody got my messages, and I have been getting the same messages from people over and over and over, like from a month ago. It's weird. So if you didn't get a message from me, it's nothing personal. To the best of my knowledge, I sent messages and not just invitations. So I don't know what's going on. I might need to reset my messenger. Again, if somebody could help me there, I have no idea. But yeah, I'm getting messages on Facebook and Messenger from like a month ago. So very strange. Anyway, so we're talking about morphic resonance, and that term was coined by Rupert Sheldrake. There's a lot of background noise with you, Sue Ellen. Let me see if I can take care of that. Here.
Tell me if you still hear it.
No, I don't hear it now. I think we might have scared it away.
I corrected the issue, Captain.
You go, girl.
Oh,
Yes.
all is good to go.
Yeah. And for those of you that have problems with your phone, with background noise and stuff, do you know that it's sometimes as easy as putting your phone in a sock, and that'll take care of it, or putting it under a folded T-shirt. Yeah, believe it or not, I mean, it acts as a pop filter, or keeps the wind from going across that sensitive microphone and just disrupting everything. But the
wind and
Rupert Sheldrake, and if you can catch that name, I'll type it in, or Sue Ellen, if you could type it in, that'd be great. Rupert Sheldrake. I'm so far away from the phone, and I'm wearing a back brace, so it's kind of hard for me. I'm kind of like a robot right now. But Rupert Sheldrake shared this term and this theory, which is it really is fascinating, and like I said in the beginning, it talks about the electrical brain, the magnetic heart, and he found that the heart is not only magnetic, but
and electrical.
Right, that it is infrared. Thank you, Elaine. But yes, infrared, which we can't see, and he said that the electrical, the magnetic, and the infrared system, that those combined formed a type of triangle, and at the top, those two or three resonated, and when they did, they formed the frequency domain, which was the electromagnetic frequency domain, electromagnetism, with the infrared. So he said that the electromagnetic field theory was the basis of our radio, television, and digital networks, and how it points to the phenomenon of resonance in the frequency domains, in the frequency domain as the basis of all communication theory. So what he's saying, what he talks about is that the brain, the neural synapses, how that mimics, or how it's a blueprint of the it's a blueprint of galaxies, star systems.
Wow.
And when you take
as above, so below.
Yes, thank you. As above, so below. And when you take a picture of a galaxy with all the stars, and you take a picture of the electron microscope of the brain, the neural synapses, you put them side by side, you can't tell the difference. You can't tell which one is the galaxy, which one's the star system, which one is brain. Okay, well
Right.
then he measured the it was the very he measured the length of the infrared light that that was within the heart, and I believe to some degree the brain, but it was mainly the heart, and it came to 10 microns, very 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 small, and then he measured the smallest vessels in the heart, I believe, is what it was. The smallest vessels in the heart. Well, no. This was going down to the subatomic level, to the proton, to the Higgs boson, talking like
Right.
CERN stuff. And they
Right.
found that there are that a common factor is that those are 10 microns in measurement. So they're the same for the most part. They're the same length as the infrared lights. So when you talk about resonance being two systems that vibrate at the same frequency, well, you're talking about light. What is light? Light's energy. What's energy? It's frequency. It's
And now, along with quantum computing, now they actually have, like, instead of having to go through internet or through the wires or through electricity, they can bypass all that and, you know, the word that I'm thinking of, use for energy or use to conduct. Maybe it would be conduct data paths. That's what I
right,
guess
right.
do.
Well, this is what he said. He said you put. He says, you draw a triangle. He says put electric domain on the left-hand corner. He says put magnetic domain on the right corner, and then at the top put frequency domain, and then go back and with the electric domain, he says put brain, and then time, and then thought, and aka mind stuff, things that you think about. And then with the magnetic domain, which is your heart, and the heart is something like 100 neurotransmitters. The heart is something like 100,000 times more powerful than the brain as far as the torus, the double torus field that your body puts off. Your heart is something like 100,000 times more powerful than the brain. So it puts off.
The Egyptians knew that.
What now?
The Egyptians knew that.
Yeah, they knew a lot. They really did. And the what was it? The eye of Horus in the brain, like a sidereal cut in the brain, and there you go, there it was. And they had the cobra that was coming out of the forehead for the pineal gland. Yeah, they knew their stuff. I mean, very, very advanced. But
and how the light had to be inside you. But they also taught meditation how you can stare at something that makes the object burn in your head,
yes,
like staring at a light.
yeah, it's really really something. But at any given time, your heart itself is has a double torus, which is it moves in on itself. It folds in on itself. I guess you could say it collapses on itself, but then it reforms. It collapses, but it
Like an octopus.
right. Hell, man,
And
that's something
making
about
blue
that.
light, making the blue light or the red light, or like who was it that was saying that the blue Katina and the red Katina at different times depending on
We
if
can
we're
barely
going
hear
away
you.
or something, the color we see.
We can
Either
barely
red
hear
or
you.
blue. Oh darn it!
That's okay. Just
I
put your
said,
mouth up to the phone.
is that better?
That's great.
It's just passed. It's passed down, I think, in native tradition and stuff. Just about, uh, the way to meditate. Now I forgot. See,
No problem. No problem. But the main thing about that is that that they did know. I mean, did know true. I mean, they were the real deal. But the question is where did they learn it from? Who taught them?
Well, we talk about that. We're going into what, our sixth extinction or our fifth?
Well, they say the biologist, geologist, they say that there is more than enough ample evidence that there have been 5 major extinctions. I'm talking planet killers that have happened. And they say that it's just a matter of time before the 6th happens. In my opinion, the 6th is going to be the last, because that's going to be like the days of the week. That's just my theory.
Remember, they changed the time, and the 6th is the last because on the 7th they rested. Right.
The 7th is the Sabbath, and it goes along with the days of the week, and the
5th and the 6th are together.
Mm-hmm. But what Rupert, Sheldrake, he must have been talking about something that was really, really on target, because he was at a meeting about to give a speech, or he was actually giving a speech, and this psychotic man runs on stage and begins stabbing him with a knife, trying to kill him. And it's like, okay, I want to hear what this guy has to say, because it's not every day you have someone run up with a knife and get close and personal to stab you, trying to kill you. I mean, most people would do it far away with a gun, but this guy wanted to get up close and personal. I mean, it was like he wanted to really, and it's like, what in the hell's going on, Well, I believe that this is the topic that he was going to discuss. I might be wrong, but Rupert Sheldrake, when you listen to him, just keep an open mind, and if what he says doesn't resonate with you, then no harm done. Just leave it. But if it does, it will open up a world of it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Because
and you're going to help us understand it more, right?
Well, I hope so. This yeah, no pressure there.
We're ready.
But this leads into things such as hyperdimensions and, believe it or not, transcendence, aka enlightenment.
Ascension, isn't that in all the paintings?
Yes.
Casinos. The Ascension of George Washington is one of the most famous.
The that was the anthroposis. I can't. Hypothesis. Thank you. Hypothesis. I mean, I can't even say the word that I said.
Potato.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. They turned George Washington into a god, and
but that's what like the embodiment was of what they were saying. The positive things, like about the Greeks, there was always somebody that they rose up to emanate those qualities, and then they knew the rest of the youth and the way things were brought up. That was a shared agreement that, we, with those certain qualities, that's how that's how you do it.
Well, what?
But go ahead.
What Rupert Sheldrake talks about is he says that while the brain and the heart are confined in this space-time continuum, he says that the frequency domain that they make up, that it is not, that it is outside of space-time. And not to...
I wasn't understanding. Wait, say that again. That is, you've got to repeat that.
Okay. He said that while the brain and the heart are confined in this dimension, in this reality, in this space-time, he said that...
They can only go, the heart can only beat so much, the brain can only have
connection. But when they resonate, when they come together, when the two become one...
just like
that?
With people, like with the viruses.
When the two become one, that produces a frequency domain that is outside of space-time. Time doesn't apply to it. Space doesn't apply to it. So we're talking about the possibilities when it's explained. We're talking about the possibilities of healing, remote viewing, remote healing, basically anything. I mean, it's like you don't have to be there because there's no space, there's no time. There's no time, there's no space.
And it's also a place you can potentially...
You're closer to the phone, please.
It's also, I believe, what was taught on certain levels.
Right.
That was a level you got to where there was a place your body was in danger and then you could possibly die, that you were to run to and hide yourself.
Right. Absolutely.
And that was passed down. But it stopped.
Survival, yeah. But he goes on to say that there is a body part that is actually responsible for this. And this gets into, thank you, Elaine, metaphysics and transcendentalism. And it's just this.
Ellen DeGeneres talked about that a lot.
Really?
A lot of celebrities came forward.
But he says that the frequency domain is actually produced by the ventricular cavities, cerebrospinal system.
In your back of your head, cavities in the back of your head attached to your spinal cord, right?
Yes, your spinal fluid, which is
it's your sacred oil.
Yes. Wow. It is actually when you, if you want to talk esoterically, it is the River Jordan.
Your semen or your mermaid.
Yes, semen, or your chrism. Your chrism, where the word Christ originates from, believe it or not. Chrism was the crocodile fat that they used to anoint, kings or priests or whatever with. But it is, when the Jordan River floods, it has been known to run backwards. And that is metaphorically talking or meaning that your chakras, it is raising that spinal fluid through the seven chakras, but it's also what in the book of Revelation? The 7 stars, the 7 candlesticks, the 7 churches, the 7 cities,
Right.
the 7 angels. Yeah, those are chakras.
The 7 is the lucky number, but it's also could be the number of death, because it's the number of just the number in itself. It tells you what kind of weapon it could be used for.
Well, too, it's
The Reaper.
it's it 3 plus 4 is 7. I mean, it's an odd number. It's an even number. 3 is the first odd number, really. I mean, and then it's 4 is a very powerful number. I mean, so but
And if they're all together, the H and the E for 3 and the L, all together is hell. Or
yeah, but but
I'm just wondering if I'm remembering old things, we have like ingrained and what they mean.
well, not to.
You got me think of how Mandela effect could be, attributed to this and so much.
Well, it very well could be, but get this, okay? And this is nothing new. I mean, it's maybe new to those that are listening. You say, Mona, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm having trouble hearing and understanding Sue Ellen at times. If let me check. Let me check something real quick. I'm going to call. Oh, good. Okay, I'm going to be able to call on my iPad, and we will hopefully take care of that. We were talking before the show, and I had like 70%, and I looked down, and my iPad said that I had 5% left, and I'm like, wow, I have no idea what drained it. But okay, I'm going to hang up, and I will call you right back.
You got it.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
see you later.
take care of that real quick. Let's see.
You want me to hang up, right?
Yes, please. I will call you right back.
My phone got so hot with the thing on top
Here
of
we
it.
go.
My phone was getting.
Okay.
So when a person goes to them and says, hey, this is happening to me, am I crazy? They're like, damn right you.
Well, there was another Spreaker show that started. I have no idea. But anyway, The wonders of live podcasting. And I've had a lot of people talk about that a show will just start playing that they didn't, they didn't put it in, and it's like, wow, it just happened to me. So, there you go. Okay, we'll see how this works.
Hello, hello.
Okay.
I'm back.
Hey, Patricia.
Hi, Patricia.
Glad you joined us. Let me.
Do you have any stories for me there?
Stories as.
Like the rest that I got tonight? About your tree of knowing people?
Oh, yeah. Yep. That is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Anything else? Go ahead and feel free to let me know as I meet people on here.
Yeah. Jacob.
Hi, Patricia.
Everybody. Yes, Patricia. That's not Patricia, that's the Patricia. The one and only.
The psychology student.
Oh, yeah.
She could take us to school.
She's doing good. Yeah. Proud of her. Proud of everybody, but Patricia she always knocks the ball out of the park. But anyway, so he says that the spinal fluid, shucks, that the spinal fluid is sacred, which it really is. Yes, she is. She's so smart and beautiful, and
For sure.
that's why I say, if I'm saying that she's my spiritual daughter, she has to be. I mean, come on. Oh my, I am so full of it. Anyway, and no one said a word. Oh, I cracked myself up. Anyway, okay. So, talking about the spinal fluid, it is something that can harbor
Can transmit life.
Yes, it can transmit life. We're talking
Light
and T cells, as far as that goes. So it's light and life, and then and it does have a certain luminance to it. And then get this, when the fetus is first being formed, the spinal cord is the first thing that begins to form.
You are correct.
Before anything. Before the brain, before anything, the spinal cord begins to form. Okay.
We like that. They're like the sea. What do you call those little zebras in the sea?
Oh, those seahorses?
Seahorses, yeah.
Oh, wow, that is huge.
Metaphorically,
Seahorses. Seahorses. The male is the one that has the babies, correct?
That's a good question. I don't know. Does anybody out there?
Does anyone know about the seahorse? And by the way, Aleister Crowley was crazy about seahorses. And it was kind of tongue-in-cheek. He knew something about seahorses that had a double meaning.
Do you know anything about alabaster?
Just that it's beautiful. I mean, what I've seen as far as that goes.
What does it look like? Could it be mistaken for something?
Maybe. It's white. It's I guess it has some yellow or cream color in it. But it's usually like little pots or vases or
Okay. All right. I'm wondering. Nothing important. Maybe one day.
No, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, no, maybe one day.
Okay.
I'll ask for that.
Well, alabaster is what the okay, you say yes, the males have the babies. Patricia, you say I wasn't even sure if it was the female that had them pass them to the male to continue gestation, incubation, but who knows. When they're trying to find T cells for AIDS positive patients, do they do a spinal tap? I believe they do. But now, aren't they using T cells from...
We just use your CD. Oh, yeah.
There, the blood banking. Thank you, Elaine. That google.com/amp. So the males have the babies. All right. Crowley knew something about that, and
wait. I'm lost about the males having the babies. I don't get it. I still.
Okay.
I'm lost.
Well,
about them.
I am too, kind of. I mean, because I don't really know the dynamics of that.
Give a little more.
I'm going to look it up now, but see.
Now there's a lot of people born like hermaphrodites and different type of people that's not talked about. And there's a lot of different people, that are thinking born with deformities, right?
Right, and also,
Well, like bellies. Patricia said they have the pouches on their bellies like kangaroos, but other than that, I'm not sure. Oh, who are we talking about? The monkeys? Who are the bobos in Thailand?
Bonbons, I believe.
Bonbons. Now we know what they worship is.
Well, just say it. I mean, we're all adults here, so.
Okay, I'm thinking about the Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book. Oh.
Oh, the ape with the monkey, with the big monkey.
Yeah. Right.
And the honey, honey pot.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism there. Males pouch, females put them in, males give birth. They have the pouches on their bellies like kangaroos. Other than that, not sure. In seahorses, the sperm producers are also the ones that get pregnant. The female transfers her eggs to the male's abdominal pouch made of modified skin. The male releases sperm to fertilize the eggs as they enter before incubating them for 24 days until they are born. And Patricia, oh girl, look at it. Elena and Mona go at this. I love it. I do too. I love it. Let's see what Crowley had to say about the seahorses. Maybe nothing, but I think that's just it. There's nothing. Got me. Yeah, that's something that when you have two people,
Really, but it's possible, huh, Jacob? Wow.
Yep, it's extremely rare, but it does happen. But
no, them to work as well.
But when you have have the male and the female, and they become one through sex or whatever. But talking about sex now, since we're on that, the two become
DNA.
one.
DNA swapping, even kissing, they show whoever you've kissed, they can find that from your DNA too.
Right, and you got a bunch of backlash there, and it is you are connected to that person forever through DNA and through what we're talking about, resonance. I mean, the entanglement.
Energy, yeah.
Yes. So that's very, very important, and that's not just theory. That's not just saying, oh, I'm talking about this so kids won't have sex. To be honest with you, kids are going to do what they want to do. People are going to do what they want to do. It's none of my business. It's none of my business what they do. So I'm not going to be the one that's going to be saying, oh, don't have sex, don't do this, don't do that, because they're going to do what they want to do, and it's their right to do so. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to say anything about it. But Mona, you say in nearly all animal species, offspring are carried by the female till birth, but in fish, the Synanthinidae family, pipefish, seahorses, and leafy sea dragon, males perform this function. Okay, and then Elaine, OTO-USA.org /Thelema/Crowley. Okay, I guess that has something to do with seahorses, which is probably Crowley was known to. He was bisexual, so there's no telling what that says.
He used a lot of symbolism.
Right. For blood, semen, and right. Yeah. Thank you, Patricia. The Mean Girls, the Beast. Yes, the Beast, and his mother named him that, the Beast 666. She said he was the Beast of Revelation. When your own mother tells you that, you're doing something very, very wrong, or you're doing something you're playing the part very, very right, very good, convincingly. But anyway, this goes on to say that that you have the male, you have the female, you have the menstrual blood, and I'm not getting graphic. I'm just speaking truth. You have the menstrual blood, and you have the sperm, you have the semen. Okay, now in stories like Alice in Wonderland. You have the white queen, you have the red queen. That's what that's really talking about. It's talking about the menstrual blood. It's talking about the blood of the virgin. And the white queen's talking about the semen, or the white king, or the red queen, the red king, vice versa. The white king, that's what it's talking about, and it goes in depth. It goes very much in depth.
Yes.
So go figure. I mean, it's Crowley.
I just always to go back to Crowley, even though I see people wear T-shirts, and I don't know if it's meant to be somebody else, but it looks like Crowley to me, or is it Bill Murray
or Barbara Bush?
Or,
I'm just saying she's a dead ringer for his daughter. I mean, my God.
Oh, even Bill Murray is of Aleister Crowley and Barbara Bush.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Is
he has a.
Bill. Oh, okay. You're talking about looks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Barbara Bush. I mean, it is really creepy how much she looks like.
Yeah. The Red Queen.
Right, Patricia. Yes. Yeah. That's what it's talking about.
Yeah, the Red Queen is your emotions. So that's the Queen of Hearts or the Queen of Cups.
And then Jacob says the ancient Greek philosophers knew that all males have some female traits and all females had some male traits. That's true. That's very true. And when the Bible says that God made man in His own image, it says, and the Elohim said, "Let us make man in our image." That term Elohim is actually feminine plural.
I was just going to say, yeah, there's...
Well, go ahead and say it.
Yeah, that definitely, there is proof that, at one time, the possibility of females being here and not needing men, basically, that they were close enough to the moon, and magnetically where they actually didn't need the semen themselves. The seed. I can't remember how it goes, but I think they allude of it in a.
Come on, you have to give us guys. You have to give us guys something. I mean, don't just do that.
No. Excuse me. I'm going into my crab shell.
I'm kidding. I am kidding completely. No. Don't go in your crab shell.
But that's what the tarot also depicts too. That's what the cards are telling you. In order, it's the path that we all go through. We all have to be the empress. We all have to be the emperor. You know what I mean? We all have to have those traits.
Well, that's something too about the tarot is that people say that's really evil, or it's this, it's that. It's really not. It's your subconscious. It is your subconscious. It's like going and picking lottery numbers. It's your subconscious. So
it's how the universe was programmed, I believe.
Look at the I Ching. It's the same. It's the same.
Rosetta Stone.
Rosetta Stone, I don't know that much about, but I do know that it was like literal language, different languages that were written.
Rosetta Stone, as far as I know, is what allowed them to start being able to decipher Egyptian. But before that time, Joseph Smith, the head of the Mormons, he made himself very popular among people by saying that he had already deciphered the hieroglyphs himself.
Oh, brother.
But by the time it came out, it was way too late. So he had already used it, and nobody really paid attention.
Yeah, Joseph Smith was so successful and so popular that he was in jail for basically bilking people out of money, and an angry mob, pulled him out of jail and hanged him. I mean, so. Yeah, so everybody that wants to talk about Joseph Smith and how great he was, they really need to do their history. And that's
hung by a mob, and I don't ever hear about that in his history.
No, you don't, and you won't. Just like you won't hear that Muhammad was pale white. And had a, what was it? Was it a 5-year-old or a 12-year-old for his wife? Well, yes, and was in the black slave trade, believe it or not. Yes, you won't hear that. You won't hear that from anyone because a lot of people had been blinded. But yes,
Was he? You think he was?
what?
I don't know. I always wonder if he lived among the people, if maybe things were framed, because I know a lot of the scalping of the Indians that was exploited, and people and the people coming to the U.S. or wherever they were.
Well, it's said, written that he was the whitest of the white, and I believe it's also said that he had red hair, and I believe blue eyes. So he definitely was not black. So this
And that's what caused the Aztecs to be overtaken by the conquistadors, because their god was a white god too, that they were looking, and they mistook him for the conquistador, right? He was blonde and blue too?
right.
Right.
Yeah, they thought he was Quetzalcoatl,
Quetzalcoatl, the
Yeah.
feathered serpent.
the feathered serpent. But anyway, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will get into the entanglement and how that this
What do you
can
mean?
possibly work for you. The entanglement, how all three come together, and so it's basically, when you look at it, it is the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I mean, that's the way I see it. It is a pattern, a blueprint, a template, and you know how I always say that everything is a blueprint, a template, something else, and this is no different. So Anyway,
Exactly.
when we come back, we will definitely deal with that. Patricia, you say, are you sure he was the whitest of the whites? Well, that's what it says. Look it up. Look up. Look up Mohammed. Was Mohammed white? Was Mohammed in the black slave trade? I think you'd be surprised. Noah was an albino. It's been said. So, yes. Go ahead, Sue Ellen. I'm sorry.
No, it's interesting. I'm just thinking about it because it's a different perspective. You can blurt out the same stuff, but there's some interesting things
I'm
here.
probably going to have like 20 fatwas on my head. But hey, so be it. I'm telling the truth.
The Father, the Son, and the Mother, Jacob.
Right. The Father, that is the disciplinarian that does what has to be done, severity. The Mother, the Holy Spirit, the merciful.
Like the Father is the idea, Mother is the manifestation of that, and the Son is the spirit that gets them to the point.
Well, how about this? The light switch is the Father. The Son is the
Yeah,
is the one that flips the switch, and the light is the Holy Spirit.
Say it again.
The light switch is the Father. The Son is the one that flips the light switch, and the light is the Holy Spirit.
Ooh, that sounds naughty. I don't know if the Son and the Father would agree with that flipping of their switch.
Well, yeah. Leave it to Beaver. Oh, God.
As above, so below. I'm just saying.
Right. Patricia, you say, I was going to say that Shane may be the whitest of the whites. Just saying. Oh, I am. Casper has to wear sunglasses around me. But, yes. The Son is not my friend. But anyway, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back, so hang tight, and we'll be back.
I wanna hold your body close to me. I wanna take you where you've never been. Swear I won't break your heart and I won't let you down. Maybe we can dance the night away. You got me feeling like a hurricane. 'Cause nothing's stopping me. You're all that's on my mind. Think I've got fire running through my veins. 'Cause when you touch me, I burst into flames. I don't know what it is you do to me. Now we're just dancing in this burning room. I really hope this moment never ends. Can we pretend that time is frozen? 'Cause you stole my heart and you know what I want is you. Where's you? I wanna say that all I want is you now. Maybe we can dance the night away. That's what I wanna do now. I want you to stay right here with me. Stay with me. Think I've got fire running through my veins. 'Cause when you touch me, I burst into flames. I don't know what it is you do to me. Now we're just dancing in this burning room. There's something in the way you look at me that tells me you are all another me. I don't know what it is you do to me. Now we're just dancing in this burning room. All I want is you now. Maybe we can dance the night